Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
It's the coldest November air in nearly 40 years, and we're tracking another possible record-setting night coming up.
We'll show you how workers who have to be outdoors are staying safe in the extreme cold weather.
Classes canceled here at Breathitt County High School because the building has no heat.
WKYT News at 5 starts now.
What a start we're off to. We tied the record low this morning, and we're in for another night of extreme cold.
That we are, thanks to this deep freeze that we are in. Yesterday, snow is sticking around. Officer Don Evans shot this video of snow around the UK campus today. The good news is we'll start to thaw out soon. Maybe. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here now with an early check of that forecast.
Yeah, really going to see the cold weather sticking around actually for most of the week until we get into that weekend. But potential is there for another record cold night. Record lows showing up this morning into most of the area. We started things out with Frankfort, cold spot, 9 degrees this morning. Lexington, as we mentioned, we tied a record of 12. It was 12 in Georgetown. Winchester with an unlucky 13 degrees, 10 up in Cynthiana. Late afternoon thermometers only reaching the low 20s. We've had this in the forecast for since way back toward the middle of last week. And today, that 21 degrees is way below the normal high of 55 degrees. Did that set a record low? I'm going to show you coming up here in 5 minutes. What we're dealing with now is the current wind chill value at 8 in Lexington. Feels like 6 into northern Kentucky. It's a balmy 17 for a wind chill number in Jackson in southeastern Kentucky. Live first alert defender with clouds that are pulling on into town. Arctic high pressure. Here comes another surge of Arctic cold that we will track in over the next 48 hours. I'll let you know if that brings any snow with it when I come back with a full outlook, guys, that will not only detail that snow threat, but talk about the temperature tumble that is still to come later tonight.
All right, Chris, thank you. You don't need us to tell you that the best way to avoid this extreme cold is to simply stay inside.
But unfortunately, many people have to be outdoors to make a living. WKYT's Jordan Valine shows us how they're staying safe. She begins our top story team coverage live now in Lexington. Jordan?
That's right. Workers here at this construction site say that working outdoors in this cold weather isn't easy, but it is necessary, and that's why they've had to find ways to adjust. Now, employees here say they usually keep some sort of heating source on site, like a controlled fire or outdoor heater, which they use to help them warm up a few times every hour. When people are exposed to cold weather for an extended period of time, the negative effects can include frostbite, hypothermia, and dehydration. Firefighters also have to work outside in the elements, and they say in order to avoid the hazardous effects, there are a few guidelines you should follow.
We're outside a lot, and we have to follow the same sort of safety guidelines that anyone else does. We try to dress in layers. We try to limit our exposure. When you have to be outside, certainly you have to be outside, but it's also important to limit your time outside when the weather's colder.
Workers here at this construction site say as long as it's not raining or snowing, they'll be working no matter how cold it is. Live in Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Now, Lexington firefighters also want to stress the importance of covering your extremities because they're most vulnerable to frostbite.
The cold caused one eastern Kentucky district to cancel classes today. Yesterday, we told you about the heat going out at Breathitt County High School. Workers needed the day to repair it. WKYT's Sam Smith continues our team coverage with a look at when students can go back to class.
School administrators say this is just bad timing because they've been planning to replace the school's heating system for a while, and this dip in temperature just came too soon. I'm told the heating system stopped working at the end of last winter, and in the summer, the decision was made to replace the building's boilers. Officials planned on the heat being fixed before this winter, but delays in the repairs pushed that work back. Because of the cold weather and the lack of heat in the school, class was canceled today and tomorrow while repairs are made. Class was in session yesterday because officials say the school was at a comfortable temperature for students. Over the weekend, space heaters were brought into the school. Those heaters have been removed.
With this temperature drop, we felt like that we wouldn't be able to have school whether we used the space heaters or not. It wouldn't be comfortable enough for the kids.
Administrators will treat today and tomorrow like snow days that will be made up at the end of the year. In Breathitt County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
District officials expect the heating system to be running again tomorrow at noon and class to resume on Thursday. It might be cold here, but at least we are not dealing with this. 3 feet of lake effect snow fell in part of western New York. The storm dumped as much as 3 to 4 inches an hour. Michigan is another place dealing with a snowstorm. Totals there range from 8 inches to more than a foot in some places.
Police say an SUV crashed head-on into a school bus this morning. It happened about 11 o'clock this morning on US 460 and Connector Road. Police tell us the driver suffered a knee injury. There was one child on board who went to the hospital as a precaution. The bus monitor and the SUV driver were okay.
We're all parents. I have children that go here in school. They ride the bus every day. The bus drivers in this school system do a tremendous job. It's unfortunate that, we do have accidents obviously like this that happened, but we're just very thankful that a good outcome today with nobody being injured.
Police say they're not sure what caused the SUV driver to hit the bus. The accident continues to be under investigation. The Kentucky Labor Cabinet has fined Campbellsville University and the city of Campbellsville following the death of a firefighter. Fire Captain Tony Grider and firefighter Alex Quinn came in contact with a power line while helping the university's band take part in an ice bucket challenge back in August. Quinn survived, but Grider later died. WKYT investigative reporter Miranda Combs has been reviewing the documents. She's at the live desk now with those findings. Miranda?
Sam, 2 fines totaling more than $13,000 for the city of Campbellsville and the university there. The Kentucky Labor Cabinet cites the use of a separate maintenance lift that was used to lift a student up to get video of the challenge. They say a university employee was on the lift and was not wearing a body belt or harness, and a lanyard was not connected to the basket as it should be. The city was fined when a state investigator was in Campbellsville and witnessed a city employee in a separate incident in a maintenance lift not wearing a harness. The report came from the Labor Cabinet, and it says they fined the university $7,000, and word just came they settled at $4,000. Also, we've just received word that the city of Campbellsville is contesting the findings. They were fined $6,300. A Labor Cabinet spokesperson said this could end in a court battle between the city and the Labor Cabinet. At the live desk, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
Miranda, thank you. The Public Safety Commission has closed its investigation. A lot of fans have circled this game on the calendar for months. The Cats have their first big challenge of the season tonight. UK
plays 5th-ranked Kansas in the Champions Classic. WKYT's Lee K. Howard is in Indianapolis with a preview in our Big Blue coverage.
After opening the season with 2 relatively easy wins, the Wildcats will get a big test tonight against the Kansas Jayhawks in a meeting of the 2 winningest programs in Division I basketball history. This is the first of a loaded non-conference schedule for the Wildcats, and a key tonight for John Calipari's team will be starting fast.
We have a tough schedule, so our thing is kind of spread throughout the whole preseason, but this is the next step. They're a top 5 team. They're predicted to be in the Final Four. I mean, they're that good. If we play like we did in the first half, last game, we'll get smashed. If we play like we did in the second half, we got a chance.
Yeah, I feel like, it shows how much heart we have as a team and see how well we play against them, against another great team. We're just going to come out, try to play hard, and just lock down defensively.
Well, coming up at about 5:45, we're going to hear from one player on the Kentucky roster that this game may mean a little bit more to. I'll give you a hint. He's played in this building before. At the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
Lee K., thank you. That game is tonight at 9, and you can see it on ESPN.
Are you prepared for an emergency situation this winter? We'll tell you what you need to have at home to keep your family safe.
When it comes to holiday shopping, it might be better to buy some items now and wait on others. We'll show you which deals to take advantage of early in Better Living.
And the area around Fayette Mall can get pretty crowded this time of year. How the city plans to keep holiday shoppers from getting stuck in traffic. That's on WKYT News at 5:30.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Here's a look at the most discussed stories on our website right now. People are talking about a controversial bicyclist running for lieutenant governor, the beheading of an American aid worker by ISIS, and the opening of a Connect store in Fayette Mall. You can join the conversation on WKYT.com. The long-running battle over the Keystone XL pipeline will come up for a Senate vote as early as 5:30 tonight. The pipeline would carry crude oil from Canada to the Gulf Coast. Republicans and Democrats are divided over the project, and the Senate vote is expected to be close. If the bill gets out of Congress, the White House has signaled the president will likely veto it.
A shocking, tragic wake-up call for people in a Chicago neighborhood after a plane crashed into a home. The small cargo plane had just taken off from Midway Airport when it went down. The pilot died in the crash. 2 elderly people had to be rescued from the home.
They were in a bedroom next to the living room, and most of the plane is in the living room. They're just very lucky at where they were at.
How lucky? Firefighters say the wreckage came within 8 inches of where the couple had been sleeping. Minnesota Vikings star Adrian Peterson will not return to the football field this year. The National Football League suspended Peterson without pay for the remainder of the season. Until now, he was being paid while sitting out. He pled no contest 2 weeks ago in a child abuse case. Peterson cannot be reinstated before April 15th. The NFL Players Association says it will appeal.
There is a recall alert today for Ford owners. The company is recalling 65,000 Fusions. The car's ignition keys can be removed even if the transmission isn't in park. The recall covers certain 2014 and 2015 models. Ford says it's not aware of any crashes or injuries from the problem. Dealers will fix that problem for free. Well, winter hasn't officially started yet, even though it looks and feels like it outside. The early Arctic blast is a good reminder to make sure that you are ready when winter really does arrive. As part of WKYT's Winter Weather Week, Mike Linden shows us how you can prepare for a weather emergency.
An emergency situation can happen at any time of year, and emergency officials say families need to prepare now for potential life-threatening situations.
We have had blizzards, we have had ice storms, we have had power outages. So it is not an issue of if it's going to happen again, it's an issue of when.
Bobel says to put together a family emergency kit with several essential items that if an emergency occurs, you have enough for at least 3 days. One of those essential items should be a first aid kit.
You never know when either a family member in your home is going to be injured or a friend or neighbor nearby may require some basic medical help.
While preparing an emergency kit is highly recommended, getting the right container is also very important. You want to make sure that it's large enough to fit all of your emergency essentials, as well as it being not only water resistant, but having a lid as well to make sure everything stays safe.
It's always better for you to be prepared than to be surprised. We don't want anybody to be surprised when something like a power outage happens.
In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
If you need a list of items for your winter emergency kit, we have that information for you on WKYT.com.
And chocolate lovers, beware, there could be a shortage of the sweet treats. Drought in the Ivory Coast and Ghana is killing cocoa plants. A plant fungus is also hurting production and complicating the supply problems. Big candy companies say demand for chocolate is up. The good news, farmers in Costa Rica are growing new cocoa plants that are resistant to disease, which could help the supply.